You know that crusty, unwashed jersey you absolutely have to wear every time your team plays? The one that smells like ancient history and desperation? You think it's helping, don't you? Let me break it to you gently. Your shirt doesn't care about the game. It's a piece of fabric. But your brain, your desperate, control freak brain, thinks that shirt is the head coach, the star player, and the referee all rolled into one. This is a classic psychological tic called the illusion of control. Our brains are hardwired from the factory to absolutely hate randomness. The idea that we're just passengers in a universe full of chaos is genuinely terrifying. So, to feel better, our brain invents little rituals to give us a sense of power. It's like being in a car that's skidding on black. Scientists have tested this for decades. In one brilliant study, they had people play a completely random lottery. Some people were allowed to choose their own numbers, and others were just handed a random ticket. Logically, the odds are identical, but the people who chose their own numbers were way more confident they'd win. They even refused to sell their tickets back, demanding 4 times more money than the people who were handed a random one. That's the illusion of control in action. It makes you value a worthless piece of paper more just because you made a choice. So, next time you find yourself arranging your desk in a perfect way before a big Zoom call, or kissing your dice at a craps table, just know you're not influencing the outcome. You're just giving your brain a little pacifier to suck on so it doesn't have a full-blown panic attack. Ever stared at a piece of burnt toast and seen a face? Or looked at the wood grain on a door and seen a screaming ghost? Or noticed how the clock always seems to say 11:11 right when you happen to look at it? Your brain isn't psychic. It's just a pattern-seeking addict. And like most addicts, it's often terrible at its job. This has a fancy name, apophenia. It's the tendency to see meaningful connections between totally unrelated things. Our ancestors desperately needed this skill to survive. Imagine you're a caveman. You're walking through the tall grass. You see a weird orange and black striped pattern in the shadows. Is that just a weirdly shaped shadow? Or is it a tiger waiting to turn you into lunch? In that situation, it pays to assume it's a tiger. The caveman who saw tigers everywhere might have seemed jumpy and paranoid, but he lived. The chill caveman who saw nothing but interesting shadows got eaten. We are all the direct descendants of the paranoid ones. The problem is that ancient pattern detector is still running in your modern brain, and it's turned up to 11. It's so desperate to connect the dots that it starts drawing its own dots where none exist. It's why you listen to a sad song after a breakup and feel like the lyrics were written specifically about you. It's why conspiracy theories are so popular. It's way more comforting to believe that a secret, all-powerful group is controlling the world than to accept the terrifying truth: the world is a chaotic mess, and literally nobody is in charge. So no. That bird that just pooped on your freshly washed car isn't a message from the universe about your bad luck. It's just a bird that had a big breakfast and your car was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Your brain just wants to make it into the opening scene of a Hollywood movie. Let's talk about black cats. A sleek black cat darts across your path. You shrug it off. 5 minutes later, you trip on the curb and your phone screen shatters into a million pieces. Your brain immediately screams, "See, I knew it! Cursed by the cat." But here's what your brain does next. It conveniently forgets the 500 other times a black cat crossed your path and you went on to have a perfectly normal day. Or even a great day where you found a $20 bill and your favorite snack was on sale. This isn't magic. It's a logical fallacy called post hoc ergo propter hoc, which is a fancy way of saying after this, Therefore, because of this, our brain is fundamentally lazy. It loves shortcuts. And the easiest shortcut in the book is to assume that if event B happened right after event A, then A must have caused B. It's simple, it's clean, and it's almost always wrong. For centuries, people would have bet their life that a rooster's crowing makes the sun come up. It happens every single morning, right on schedule. The rooster crows, the sun rises. It's a simple, satisfying story. But it's dead wrong. The real world is complicated. Your shattered phone screen was caused by a combination of gravity, uneven pavement, and the fact that you were trying to text while walking. But blaming the cat is just easier. It gives you a simple villain in a world that often doesn't have one. It lets your brain close the case file and move on, even if it got the wrong guy. Why do we knock on wood? Seriously, think about it. Does anyone actually know the reason? Most people think it has something to do with ancient pagans believing spirits lived in trees. But you don't know that. You do it because you saw your parents do it, and they did it because they saw their parents do it. Superstitions are a social contagion. They spread from person to person like a virus or a viral TikTok dance. This is the power of social proof. We are deeply social creatures, and one of our most primitive instincts is to fit in with our tribe. Back on the savannah, being kicked out of the tribe was a death sentence. You'd be on your own, with no one to watch your back. So we evolved to copy the behaviors of the people around us. It's a survival mechanism. If everyone in your village suddenly starts screaming and running away from the river, you don't stop and pull out a notepad to conduct a scientific analysis of the situation. You run. You can ask questions later, assuming you don't get eaten by the crocodile that everyone else saw. Superstitions work the same way. When you're celebrating a small victory and say, "I hope I get that promotion," and your friend says, "knock on wood," you just do it. It's easier than getting into an argument about ancient pagan rituals. It costs you nothing, it reinforces your social bond, and it signals that you're part of the same group. These beliefs don't have to make sense. They just have to be shared. That's why you'll see an entire baseball team refusing to step on the foul line. It's a collective ritual that binds them together. They're all in on the same secret. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.